Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you to today's session by Atulith Academy. We sincerely appreciate you joining us. A little more about Atulith. Atulith Academy was established by Radhika Kautha, a distinguished learning designer and corporate trainer. Her vision for the Academy is centered on the mastery of clarity, ownership, and workplace excellence, collaborating extensively with trainers and organizations to empower professionals to navigate real world challenges with confidence. Today's webinar, Managing Micropolitics Gracefully, has been curated to be both sophisticated and deeply practical. To ensure a seamless experience for everyone, I have just a brief few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphones muted to maintain our audio quality. We encourage you to use the chat actively for your reflections and questions. Do stay with us until the conclusion, as we'll be sharing an exclusive takeaway resource designed for your continued growth. Also, to take us into the heart of today's session, please join me in welcoming our facilitators. We have Sheila ma'am. She is a language and communication trainer who empowers professionals to communicate effectively and boost their careers. She offers engaging workshops and coaching to build confidence and achieve goals. We also have Divya ma'am. She is an experienced corporate and communication coach, passionate about enhancing workplace communication and personal development. She has a unique ability to translate complex concepts into practical, people focused learning experiences. Also, our today's agenda, we will define micropolitics and its presence in daily life, learning to shift from emotional reactions to strategic responses. You will receive a practical toolkit for graceful navigation, followed by reflection and action planning session. So now I would like to hand it over to Sheila ma'am.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Encia, and a very good evening to all of you. Before we dive into this topic, I have something to ask our audience. So I'm sure all of us have somebody that we get irritated when we think of. Is there anybody like that, Priyanka? And I see there's even Dips who has just joined
Yes, ma'am.
us. You do. It'll be nice if you can just switch on your camera and Insia for a minute. Can we stop sharing the screen?
एक्चुअली
So
ऑप्शन मेरे यहाँ पे लॉक दिखा रहा है मैम.
locked?
हाँ, मतलब कैमरा ओपन नहीं हो रहा है.
So आपको आपके एंड पे you have to allow that camera settings. If you see there must be some at the top bar.
You have something? Do you can you try now?
Just 1 minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Welcome, Deepali.
Yeah, hi, I'm traveling. I can't switch on
No
the camera.
Okay, great. Yeah, good to see you, Priyanka. Okay, so now coming back to what we were talking about. Deepali, if you can just switch on your camera and Priyanka for some time, because this is something that is going to be, even your expression has to be visible. So think of a person. Divya, would you like to try first so the audience know what we are trying to ask them to do?
Sure.
So think of a person whom you get irritated with. Okay. And with anger, I want you to count from 1 to 10.
Okay. So I'll have to close
Close
my
your
eyes to
eyes.
do this. Yes.
Close your eyes for this, and start counting 1 to 10 with anger, whatever irritation that you have.
Yes. It's done.
Okay, so I see even Priyanka is trying to do that. And Dipali, would you like to try? Close your eyes and think of somebody that you really get irritated every time you think of that person. So now what happens? What was the feeling? I want each one of you to share one by one. Divya, you can start first.
For me, it was frustration.
Frustration. Did it calm down? Normally, when you get irritated or angry, they would normally say count 1 to 10 and you calm down. But here, I purposefully told, stop, don't calm yourself down. I just said, with that anger, count 1 to 10. So, Priyanka, what was your experience?
Little bit irritated and frustrated, ma'am.
And Dipali?
Yeah, I'm also getting angry.
Okay, fine. So, so today, being this topic, we are not talking about people who will irritate you, or we are talking how to handle our emotions and how to handle the politics that happens in a work environment. So, again, good evening, everyone. And today we are talking about something we all experience, like how we just spoke just now. I'm sure if somebody takes over whatever you are doing, or you put your hard work, and if they have taken the credit, this is the expression that you get. Even if you are told to count 1 to 10, which normally is an exercise to calm yourself down. So here we are going to give you certain tips and also certain strategies that you can follow by staying calm, and to give you some takeaways at the end of the session. So we would appreciate that you stick around till the end of the session. And this session is not about playing politics, it is about protecting your credibility while growing your influence. So we have Divya, who will tell us why we are doing this conversation and and how does it matter to all of us. Over to you, Divya.
Thank you, Sheila. Insia, can we have the slide, please?
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. So, what is micropolitics in daily life? It's not a big conspiracy. It's those small, repeated behaviors that quietly shape influence. It looks like silent exclusions from meeting, wherein important conversations are happening in the organization, but you are excluded from those meetings. Or credit hijacking, wherein important conversations are happening without your presence. Passive aggressive mails. Your work is presented as someone's else contribution. Passive aggressive emails, wherein communications are communications carry. Sheila, can you mute yourself, please?
Sorry.
So communications carry hidden criticism instead of direct feedback. WhatsApp group growing without you. There are informal discussions which are being made outside your visibility. Also, biased promotions, or someone saying you're too aggressive. That's the feedback. Or visibility politics. So politics exists. Avoiding it does not protect you. And that's exactly what we'll be understanding by the end of today's webinar. Raise your virtual hand if you've experienced at least two of these scenarios in your professional life. Has anyone experienced anything or silent exclusions from meeting, or biased promotions. Sheila, have you experienced?
Course.
And I'm sure everyone here at some point of their career must have really experienced these, right?
Yes, definitely. I'm sure they would have.
Yes. So these are not occasional, but it's a everyday reality. We experience this in and out. So it's like that invisible perfume, right? You don't see it, but you can feel it. So Sheila, let's run a quick poll to align our audience with today's topic.
Sure. So can we move on to the next slide, please? Yeah. So I would ask all of you, if it is office politics, then is it manipulation? Is it survival? Or is it leadership skill? Or you just avoid it? What is it that you do when there is politics at office? We would request the participants to put your answers in the chat box. Priyanka. Yes, Priyanka, would you like to speak or would you like to tell us?
Leadership skill, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. What about Dipali? What do you think, Dipali?
I think I avoid it.
You avoid it. Okay. So looks like what do you do, Divya?
Well, for me, it's survival.
Okay. So we have different responses. So moving on. So avoiding politics, I think, is something that doesn't make any sense. That avoiding politics doesn't make you ethical. So it makes you invisible. So if you work hard, but nobody knows who grows. So you have been working hard and nobody knows about it. Then who grows? What do you all think?
I think I'm sure by the end of the webinar, Deepali will have a different view.
Yeah. Okay. Itya, can we move on to the next slide, please? Yeah. So, what happens if you avoid politics? It's just that the limelight just moves away from you. You will keep working hard. You will be meeting the deadlines. You will send all the reports on time. But still, you'll just be waiting for somebody to talk for you. So, now we'll have something interesting that Divya will share with us. What happens when you avoid politics? Over to you, Divya.
Thank you, Sheila. Can we have the next slide, please? So, Sheila, I used to believe that hard work speaks for itself. But this one incident, which happened during my early career, changed my view. So, Anaya was my senior colleague in the projects, the kind you will recognize immediately. Early to office, computer logged on even before any conversations begin. No noise, no self promotions. She delivered consistently, left only after the commitments were done. In every review, her performance was solid. She was appreciated. In every crisis, she was a dependable shoulder. But when leadership discussions happened behind closed door, a sentence quietly followed her name. Strong performer, but not visible enough. And in that one sentence, years of excellence just shrink. High performer in spreadsheets, but low visibility in boardrooms. I was shocked. I thought merit was enough. Can we have the next slide, please? And along with me, I think Anaya also realized something very uncomfortable. She was working hard, efforts were happening, results were being delivered, but the impact that was very limited because it was practically invisible, right? And the success that no one perceives does not translate into influence. And that is what we fail to understand. That's where frustration begins. Inside, I'm sure it must have been sounded like this within Anaya. What more do they want from me? Why isn't my hard work enough? Why do I have to market myself? Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Hard work feels fair. Visibility feels strategic. And most high performers distance themselves from what they feel as self promotion. But careers are shaped by both, isn't it? Do you agree, Sheila?
Yes, of course.
Exactly. And that's when she realized something deeper. She was not being ignored, she was being unseen. And although she was working hard, she was not influencing strategically. That realization changed something within her. And she shifted from working in isolation to aligning efforts with strategy and influence. Let's see how. Can we have the next slide, please? So she did not start working harder. Okay. So she started working smarter, understanding power dynamics without playing power games. So Anaya stopped asking, why don't they see my hard work? And the question shifted to how am I making myself more visible? She did not increase effort. She started strategically aligning herself. Before any important meetings, she began pre-aligning. No more walking into rooms hoping that no people would just listen and agree. What she did was she spoke to the key holders beforehand. She understood the concerns. So the meeting was more structured and not stressful. She stopped working in isolation. She built cross-functional allies. For example, what she did was, being in projects, she spoke to the finance before the review meeting and shared her data in advance. Now, when she spoke in meetings, it wasn't her voice in the room. It was a shared ownership because everyone was on the same page. She captured outcomes so that her work could speak clearly. Because undocumented success is easily forgotten. She stopped saying what she did. She started saying what changed. And instead of saying, I worked really hard on this, she said, this improved efficiency by 18% and reduced work. And that's when everything changed. She was still hardworking, but now she was strategically visible. And soon, this translated into growth within the organization. Insia now has a question for everyone here.
Yes, yes. So, what would be the outcome if she had not paused? What do you think, Priyanka ma'am? Kirpali ma'am, what about you? What do you think?
Still, she is not visible or manipulated.
Okay, so if she had not, like, what would be the outcome if she had not paused? Like, if she had not paused, what would be the outcome? Because she was getting frustrated, right, when she was not visible. So, what would be the common man's reaction? Would you react or would you pause and respond? That's what the question means, Priyanka. So, if
Yeah, so
you
yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So instead, she chose to not
Stay
respond.
calm.
Yeah, she was calm in an approach. So
Right.
in case she would not have remained calm and remain in that frustration mode for a long period, so what would be the outcome? So it would be, maybe she could have sent an emotional email to her bosses, right? So something on
Yeah.
those lines.
Or they could have also been lack of strategy, like she would have had
Stop
an
all kind
emotional
of
breakdown.
communications.
Yes, right.
So Priyanka, would you like to try once again?
Sorry.
Would you like to once again try?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So I have another scenario here. Like, has there been a situation where you have been sidelined with any work? All of a sudden, you just put out of all the communication. You've been removed from the key thread. Has there been a situation like that? Has Priyanka or Dipali experienced this kind of an experience? Okay, so to help
Repeat
you,
it informally.
I'm sorry.
The second option.
Decision made informally. So you've had something like that you've experienced?
Um, Not this organization. Previous organization. I have experience
Okay,
like that.
okay,
Yes.
okay, fine. So we have a story here where we have Ria, one of the sincere employees of her team. So as Anaya was, she would work late, she would meet all the deadlines, she would solve all problem quietly, all the problems quietly. And her belief was, if I work hard, my work will speak for itself. So one quarter, what happened? There was a client project. It was a big project where she did the research, she structured the financial proposal, and she had her. It was her senior who presented this, and he explained the strategy. He answered all the questions that were asked, and he received even the appreciation. And Ria was there sitting and waiting silently, hoping that her name would be addressed. But the meeting was over, and she said, she felt really bad. And she went back totally frustrated, and she was telling herself, this is so unfair. I did the work for 2 days. She just kept quiet. She didn't talk to anybody, and she didn't confront her boss. Now, that is her senior. She just stayed calm. And then she finally decided that she'll have a one on one with her senior. So, what she did was she requested for a conversation one on one with her senior. And then the first statement that she made was something like this: I'm glad the presentation went well. I'd appreciate being acknowledged when my work is presented. It helps me build my visibility. So her senior also responded very positively, and he said he didn't even realized the impact that this had caused. So after that, what Ria did, she didn't sit quiet. She did three things. She started sending summary emails highlighting her contributions. She aligned with her senior before presenting. She began speaking up briefly in meetings. So this actually helped. In 3 months, what happened was Ria led another research and strategy on this. That day, the leadership started noticing her. Okay, so what Ria did was she didn't go publicly go and attack this senior of hers. She spoke to him. This way, Ria didn't fight. She didn't get into any gossip or complaint, blaming or anything. She just went ahead and she dealt this very silently. And this was one of the ways to handle micropolitics powerfully. Insia, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So we can just see here in this table, you can see that she, as I mentioned, she didn't publicly escalate it. Instead, she went for a one-on-one alignment. She didn't blame him or she didn't go and gossip. She just did a structured curiosity. Whatever was there, please let me know, is what she said. And then she was not withdrawn. She didn't stop talking to anybody or anything. She went and built a very nice relationship intentionally. So, to end with this slide, micropolitics punishes ego reaction. So, she didn't depend on ego. Instead, she stayed calm and handled the whole situation very strategically. So, moving on, there are situations when we get, there are times when your seniors need this whatever efforts that you do. So, have you had a situation like this, Divya, that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, sure. Can
Can
we
we
have
move
the next
to the
slide,
next
please?
slide?
Yes. So, Sheila, you gave a really good insight, right? So, at times, your seniors don't deliberately do it, it happens. So, when
Right.
once you have a one-to-one discussion, things get pretty clear, right? So, here is a scene. So, I want all you to imagine that you are working on some project for weeks, okay? And you have solved all the bottlenecks, you build the framework, you were there at every meeting, okay, and suddenly in the review meeting your senior presents the work without even mentioning your contribution. You're not acknowledged anywhere. What would you do? So I want you all to tell me what would you do in such situation. So would you stay silent? Would you correct them publicly? Would you feel angry? Or would you just withdraw next time? Like, I'm out of this whole scenario. So, what would be your reaction? I would like to know.
I would like to talk with them. So what?
Okay,
Why this happened? Because uh, at the end I know the reason.
correct. So you would like to have a one-to-one discussion with your
Yes.
senior,
Yes.
so that things are clear, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's
Great.
that's a
Great.
perfect
Yeah.
way to do it. Deepali, what would you do? Okay. So Sheila, what would you do?
Okay. Well, I would go with what Priyanka said, but commonly what happens is the reaction that happens would be that would be a public confrontation.
Can we have the next slide, please?
So it so happens that if you get too agitated and you get very aggravated, what normally happens is that you go and confront them publicly, and it may go to an extent sometime where the HR has to intervene, and there would be a lot of gossips, and there will be a silence, which one builds. I mean, this is what builds your reputation. Then you have a reputation in the office. Oh, this person has a reputation, is what they would say. So that's what you see even in the slide over here. So, how do you think we can handle this problem, Divya? Do you
Okay.
have any strategy?
Yes, obviously. I mean, these are something which should not really happen. Like Priyanka said,
Right.
going and talking to them and having a one-to-one conversation, which even you agreed, right? So let's see what are the strategies, since now we have seen the problems, right? So let's understand the whole process and how do we move ahead so that we have a favorable outcome. Can we have the next slide, please? So now that you know the problem, right? What are the general problems? We have already shared some scenarios with you all. So now, what is the process that we generally should be using in a professional environment? So first is like many of you have agreed and said that it's a private conversation. So avoid public correction all the time. That is not really, emphasized at all. Don't escalate emotionally. See, we are working in a professional environment, so let's not have an emotional outburst anywhere. Keep it calm and one-to-one discussion. Address the issue and not the person. This is something which many times doesn't happen. We directly attack the person, so that should be really avoided. Respond with a clarity and not anger. And the most important is protect professionalism. It may sound like I'm glad that the project was well received. Going forward, I would appreciate being included when the work is being presented. Direct, no drama, right? The second is documentation trail, keeping contributions visible in writing. All the project summaries should be through emails with all the concerns marked. Responding to emails, sharing documents regularly. No defensive documentations, but strategic documentations. After the meeting, just send a short summary capturing all the decisions that you have made, highlighting your contributions, and also aligning the stakeholders, keeping your narrative clear and absolutely professional. Like, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the project. As discussed, here are the outcomes and the next steps. So you're not claiming any credit, but what you're doing is you're reinforcing your ownership in this. So the next one is request share presentation. So next time, ask very politely for inclusions. You can say, I would be glad to be a part of this discussion. Or maybe I can cover the segment for clarity. Ask for space to contribute. Ask for visibility in your delivery. Because this shifts you from a silent contributor to a visible expert. And you yourself will notice the difference. No confrontations, no ego reactions, just strategic visibility. Keep your work like a good meeting, structured and not as a drama episode, which is really required in a professional environment. Sheila, now just tell us, now that we have understood the problem, the process also, how does the outcome look like?
Sure. Yeah. So after the wonderful strategy, what was given, so when you acknowledge publicly relationship, there is when you don't acknowledge, or when you don't publicly acknowledge, relationship stays intact and reputation remains strong. Then you say some then you can also feel this, that it's not a, when you act with anger, there is a revenge, temporary revenge has been, your temporary ego has been satisfied. But when you handle it strategically, you build a legacy. This is what I would like to say. So So this is almost like how we had our emotional intelligence table that we had. So it was done one on one, and it was done very calmly, and it was dealt in a very calm and a professional way. So there was visibility again taken care in a very nice way. There was nothing that was demanded. So uh, let's move on to the next slide now. And there are situations when we have people who have chosen, like Dipali looks like she's left, but we'll also address this, that uh, if I stay neutral, politics won't affect me, is the feeling. So, Divya, let's make this more interactive. Do you have something where our audience can actually answer this for us?
Yeah, so actually, I would like everyone to just pause and And think about this statement. So if I stay neutral, politics won't affect me. How does this land for you? Okay. Can we have the next slide, please?
So please vote in the chat. What do you think? Is it true or false?
So do you agree with the statement that if I stay neutral, politics will not affect me? Okay.
Dipali ma'am, what about you?
So Sheila, what do you think?
Even I would agree with Priyanka. It's a no from my end too.
Right.
Yes, right. The answer is false. Staying neutral may protect your control, but it rarely protects your career.
Right. So, can we move on and we'll just look at some more scenarios and issues that we can look into? Like, what do you think, Divya? Do you think internal networking is manipulation?
Sheila, generally, when we hear the word networking, the general idea is it's manipulation, right? We generally feel networking is equivalent to manipulation. But healthy networking is simply visibility with integrity. Can we have the next slide, please? So it's letting people know your work, your value, and your reliability without pretending or playing games. Done right, network is not politics, it's professional clarity. That's what, Sheila, I feel regarding networking.
Great.
Can we
So,
have
can we move on? Yeah. Sure.
Yes. Now, how many of you agree with the statement that loudest person gets promoted? The loudest voice is often noticed first, and also they are valued most. So, do you agree? So, Priyanka says no.
Priyanka says no.
Right. So, absolutely. So, it should not happen in an organization that the loudest person should be promoted. Right.
Yes.
So, Sheila, now let's explore what influence really means and how we can build a positive influence.
Great. So, can we move on to the next slide, Insia? Yes. So, as you see, there is a formula that has been mentioned below influence, visibility, value, and trust. So, let me elaborate this. So, visibility, we all have an idea, right? So, people need to see you and your work. Without visibility, even the best ideas go unnoticed. So, imagine you have some brilliant report, but it sits in your desk unread. If you present it in a team meeting or share a summary with leadership people, people notice your work. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So then your value has been there is value to your work. So your action and contribution must make a difference. So that's what happens when you present something in a meeting. So providing value builds credibility and relevance. So you introduce a new workflow that reduces report preparation time by 50%. Your contribution directly improves effect, showing tangible impact. So once they see the visibility and your work, trust is built. When trust is built, finally people will start trusting you, and this is the foundation that turns recognition and value into real influence. So colleagues rely on you to follow through, keep communicate commitments, and give honest advice. When they know you're reliable, your suggestions carry weight. So they will ask for your suggestions.
Absolutely.
So to conclude, I would say influence isn't luck, it's the result of being visible, delivering real value, and building truth. When these come together, your ideas don't just reach people, they move them. So now, Divya, have you been in a situation where, or if you know somebody who has been in a situation where they have been kept out of, or who have experienced the WhatsApp politics? Do you have anything that you or anyone else has experienced that you want to share with our audience?
Oh, yes. I think you cannot keep out of politics, right? I mean, it's there somewhere. So I have experienced this a lot of time in my professional journey. So let me share a real story of my close friend Neha. So Neha was handling a very important position in sales. So she was working on something which was a huge project. So all the official updates were happening on the email. Can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. So all official updates were on email, but real discussions were happening in a small WhatsApp group, which was named
Mhm.
as core WhatsApp group. Okay.
Okay.
So she was not part of that group. So when meetings were happening, she was blank. Okay. So it
Okay.
was like she didn't knew what was going on. So all others were aligned. So it always looked like Neha was unprepared for the meeting, although she was working very hard. Then when she went and just thought about it and investigated a little, she realized that she was missing out on the early information. So she realized one thing, that she was relying only on one person for that update. So what she started doing was she started building connection across teams. She checked in informally, just going and having a small talk with your cross teams, what is going on, any issues, can I help? And she
Mhm.
started stay connected through multiple channels, emails, chats, call, or one-to-one discussion. And soon she was not catching up. She was part of the conversation. Although she was not a part of that WhatsApp group, she worked on a network and created. So this is something which I had experienced, which I came to know from her, is what WhatsApp politics looked like me.
That's great. Okay. So it's very clear that you don't rely on one person. You rely. It's better to collect information from everyone else. I have another situation where there was a person who there was a situation where this person was told too aggressive as a feedback.
Can we have the next slide, please?
So this person, Arjun, he was known as a strong performer, but he met deadlines like anyone else that we spoke just now. He solved problems quickly and he spoke with clarity in meetings. The only thing was he was very clear when he said something. That happened to sound very aggressive because he made a statement in one of the meetings that his manager said when his appraisal came, that he said, your work is solid, but you appear to come across as a very aggressive person, because he made a statement like this won't work. When somebody gave one of his colleagues proposed an idea, he just said this won't work. So technically he was correct, but emotionally it sounded very blunt. So this was a turning point for Arjun. He felt really bad and he said, I never shout in office, and I don't come across, or I don't complain about anybody's behavior. But what is it that I did? So what he did was he went and requested for a one-on-one meeting again, like the other story characters. Even he went and asked him, "Can you give me one example where I have come across as an aggressive person?" That's when his manager brought his attention to this statement. So, what Arjun did was, in the next couple of days, he worked on his tone. He adjusted his tone. It was not his ambition, but it was just an adjustment of his tone. Next time, there was another meeting, few months later, and when there was some idea that was shared, he said something like this. He said, um, I see the intent. Maybe my concern is timeline risk. This is what he said. So, same thought, different delivery. Over the next few months, something changed. People began describing him as a strong and constructive person, direct but balanced, confident and collaborative. And when promotion discussion happened, he was ready, not just because of his performance, but because of how he was perceived. So, Divya, have you ever experienced another situation, any email that has agitated you?
Well, yes. See, when you receive an email saying, can we have the next slide, please? Yes. So when you receive emails like, your part of the report is incomplete again. So the natural reaction or the natural instinct is react. So, but instead of reacting instantly in the same tone, you pause for a minute and then respond with facts. Saying, thank you for pointing this out. I have reviewed and updated the document. The latest version is in the shared folder. I'm happy to discuss further over a quick call. So this sets a tone wherein you're not really reacting out of just having a look at that email, right?
Right.
Your natural instinct is to just go and reply all and just finish it off.
Just
right?
mirror the
Yes,
emotion that
mirror
is
the
in
tone.
the right.
Absolutely. And that happens a lot of time because it's so obvious as a human nature.
Right.
So there was another mail wherein it was in sort of an accusation, right? So the error came from your section, fix it immediately. So when you see such email,
Very blunt,
happened, right?
and
Yes,
an
yes.
arrow shoots.
So and then you immediately feel you should defend yourself, come out of that situation, especially if you're not done any wrong or if there's no
Right.
mistake of yours. But then instead of that, a calm response to the accusation will help us in aligning the project. So the project doesn't derail because of any ego, right? So maybe you can reply to the email like, thank you for highlighting this. I have rechecked my sections and confirmed the date submitted on this, and it is accurate. The gap appears in your source. I'm happy to clarify over a call, or maybe if you have a time in your calendar, we can just fix a meeting, right? And have a one-to-one conversations. So basically, there is no outburst of emotions. It's only and also no defensiveness, just clarity. If you
Right.
have done a mistake, accept the mistake, correct it, send the email. If you have found out that you have not done any mistake, just reply with facts and send it across an email. And it's very important that always lead with facts and move sensitive discussions offline if required, because at times the email, the emotions, the language don't convey what exactly you want to tell that person, right? So
Right.
like you said, in the case of Arjun, the tone was the problem, not
Yeah.
what the intent is not the problem, right?
Right.
So the reply all button is a villain everyone fears, right? And so I want everyone to just let me know. So have you ever sent an email in haste and then later regretted it? Just show me your virtual hand. I know I have.
So have I. So, do we have audience? Anybody who has?
Yes,
So
Priyanka
even
has.
Priyanka agrees.
Right.
Great.
So, can we have the next slide, please? So, Sheila, do you think performance is directly proportional to visibility?
No, I don't. A, performance visibility. I mean, performance is something that you do personally. It is you are doing it, and it's something like performance is a private effort. Visibility is strategic communication. So if people don't know your impact doesn't multiply. So we have a few, like if it is a quarterly achievement tracker, uh, nobody waits. I mean, we shouldn't wait till the appraisal season to remember our wins. Instead, it's better to make it a practice to um, list down all your key project deliveries, then your whatever revenues or cost or time impacts that you have made a difference to the project or even to the company, or how you have solved certain problems and how you have influenced in the meetings with the stakeholders. So what gets documented gets discussed. Now, coming to the career conversation, visibility is not bragging. You're not, blowing your own trumpet. It's clarity. What does success look like at the next level? These are some questions that you can ask yourself to get ready. If in case you need to even answer, you have the answers ready. So you can ask questions like, what does success look like at the next level? Where do you see my strengths? And what gaps should I close? What high visibility projects can I contribute to? If you don't ask these questions, so you do you have anything to add? We have visibility calendar over here. Do you have anything
Yes.
that you would like to
Yeah.
share?
So, since now you have explained the first two statements, so visibility is not accidental. It has to be scheduled. You need to take efforts to be visible. Okay.
Right.
So, every month or every 15 days, you should keep sharing a project update. Like you said, appraisals happen once in a year, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
year is such a long time to remember what you have done in a particular month or what is your achievement. So keep sharing it through an email. Appreciate collaborations publicly. Like if someone is helping you, tell that this person has been helping me. Present insights in the meeting. Talk in the meeting. Volunteer for cross-functional exposure. For example, you can appreciate the operation teams publicly for their support in execution. Or maybe even if the HR is, the HR has some presentation, you can just go and volunteer for a help, right? So that is what is cross-functional alliance you do. And alliance is not built only when you have a problem. So
Right.
performance makes you valuable, but visibility makes you promotable.
Very true.
So, yeah. So can we have the next slide, please? Yeah. So now that we have spoken about performance, right? We have spoken about visibility also. Now let's see how to move through workplace dynamics without losing yourself. Okay. So first thing is control perceptions early. So the first impressions travel very fast. Okay. So
Very
clarify
true.
your role and impact from the start. Build allies before crisis. So relationship should not start in a problem, right? You need to connect and collaborate before you need. So it's like a fire extinguisher. You don't wait for fire to buy one, right? the fire will be there and you go and buy an extinguisher. So you need to keep it ready before the emergencies. So Sheila, can you elaborate on the next few statements?
Sure. So, no emotional public reaction. So, as we have discussed in all the scenarios that we have given and the example stories, public reaction is a no-no. And influence quietly and consistently, like highlighting your performances, highlighting whatever your wins quietly makes it more visible. And these are some of the rules that we can share as of now. But uh, Divya, do we have any scripted statements that our audience can use right away?
Obviously, we have them for them. Can we have the next slide? Yes. So these are ready to use phrases which you can use in real workplace situation. So immediately if you have some meeting on Monday, just use them. Okay.
Yeah, and you can even go ahead and take a screenshot, and these sentences protect dignity. That's what I
Obviously.
would like to add.
Yes. So I would like to ensure that team's contributions are visible. So it's a very respectful way to protect collective credit without sounding defensive. And this is something we miss many times. The credits given to the team, right? The
Right.
second would be help me understand the decision criteria. It's a very calm way in at places when you feel the decision taken is wrong or is not in line with what was discussed earlier. So it's a very calm way to seek clarity instead of reacting emotionally. The third is can we align before presenting to leadership? I believe this is something which happens most of the time.
Yes.
You go to the seniors, you present, and it's like it's completely out of place. This person
Mhm.
is speaking on a different line, and the seniors are like completely baffled. So, what I would say is work well, speak wisely, and be remembered respectfully. So, these sentences will help you in building a professionalism in your organizations. What do you think about these statements, Sheila?
Absolutely. We should ask what Priyanka has to say about it.
Yes, I think
Yes,
Radhika.
Radhika.
Okay. Maybe if you add can you help me understand the decision criteria instead of help me, will
Or
that
should we add, please help me understand the decision criteria?
right,
Right.
more polite?
Polite.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you
Radhika.
for pointing out that, Radhika. Thank you so much. Priyanka, do you have anything? Okay. So, can we move on to the next slide, please? So, I have a question to the audience. If there is one political situation that you will handle differently, what would it be? You can just post it in the chat box.
Okay.
So definitely use point 3 of the previous slide. Great. Thank you, Radhika. Moving on to the next slide. Politics is not about power over people.
It's about power over perception.
So
Yes.
with
So to sum
yes,
it up, graceful influence is leadership.
Absolutely.
absolutely, we are with you.
Also, an overview of today's webinar. Handling micropolitics gracefully isn't about being fake, it's about being strategically authentic. It's the difference between being a pawn in someone else's narrative and being the author of your own. Also, a huge thank you to our facilitators for deconstructing the complexities of office dynamics today. And to our participants, thank you for your curiosity and for leaning into these honest conversations. Also, as promised, we'll be sharing you our micropolitics worksheet to help you turn today's insights into tomorrow's influence. Also, mark your calendars for February 28th. We'll be diving into our next essential workplace skill. Don't miss out on the registration details coming your way shortly. Thank you, everyone. Have a brilliant day ahead.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.